Welcome to opening day of the 2019 Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival.
So much to see and do coming up.
It's Cory.
And Stephanie.
And welcome to opening day of the 2019 Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. I know it's a mouthful, it always is, but we're so excited to be here today on what is a beautiful day in Epcot.
Yeah, I mean, it started out this morning in the 40s, and I think it's supposed to warm up to about mid-60s, which is perfect weather for taking a stroll around the World Showcase, trying some really awesome food.
And the skies are crystal clear, and I'm really excited. We got here early this morning and actually just finished a live stream where we went around and showed you guys all of the merchandise that's here for the festival merchandise. So if you're looking for a review of the merchandise, go back and watch the replay of that live stream because we covered everything. But now we're gonna focus on our favorite part, which is the food. So let's get back in the World Showcase now and start experiencing all the delicious food that the Flower and Garden Festival has to offer and soak in this beautiful weather. What do you say?
I'm excited and hungry, so let's get going.
So for our first stop of the day, we're stopping off here in the Odyssey building for the Arbor Kitchen, where we're gonna try the fried green tomatoes. And so it's fried green tomatoes with a blue crab, fennel salad, a remoulade with smoked paprika oil for $6. Okay, so from the Arbor Kitchen here in the Odyssey is the fried green tomatoes, and this is with a blue crab, fennel salad, remoulade, and smoked paprika oil, and this is $6, and it smells delicious.
So Cory wasn't kidding, this smells so good. Let's give it a try. Very, very fresh. You can certainly taste all the seasonings really good. The blue crab and fennel's, you know, good seasoned. Nice crisp on the tomato, which I'm actually surprised because I saw them kind of pre-prepared up there as they were coming out. I was afraid that the tomato itself would be a little on the soggy side just from sitting there, but it's not. It's quite crispy. And the remoulade that it comes with is actually well seasoned. It almost has a hint of horseradish. I'm not a huge fan of horseradish, but the overall flavor and the seasonings are very, very good, and I like this.
All right, let's give this a try, and I got unfortunately a big bite because I couldn't cut it very good with the fork, but here's a big bite with that fennel salad and that blue crab and a little bit of that smoked oil too on the side. Excited to give it a try. And that is delicious. I love that so much. Steph said she tasted a little horseradish. I don't even taste any horseradish, so I think it might be getting a different flavor. But the tomatoes are nice and crispy, and they're warm, and then that fennel and fennel salad with the blue crab is nice and chilled, so that they play nicely together. That smoked oil is a really nice touch, and the remoulade's a little sweet, a little tangy, goes perfect with the whole dish. Seriously, I don't say this that often unless I really mean it. This is a very, very good dish here, and a great way to start at the Flower and Garden Festival. And I think portion-wise, it's a good size too, but all the flavors are there, and that's really tasty. All right, so we've made our way back here to the Lotus House in China, and this is what we picked up. This is the Szechuan spicy red braised beef shank over rice, and I gotta say it's a pretty good sized portion. That's a lot of rice. Might not eat all that because I don't want to fill up. We still got a long ways to go. And we also picked up the Panda Bubble Tea. So this is a classic milk tea with black and white bobas, and this is a non-alcoholic beverage, but black and white bobas, Panda Bubble Tea. I think it looks cool, and it's actually a pretty decent sized portion. Again, of the previous bubble tea for the last festival was kind of small, so this looks like a pretty good size. Okay, let's give this beef shank a try here in China, and like I said, it is heavy. There's a lot of rice and a lot of beef. There's like 4 or 5 big pieces on there, and this gravy looks really kind of thick and rich, and there's some fresh scallions on top of there too. So let's give this a try. It's piping hot. I don't know if you can see it's steaming there. So the Szechuan flavor coming through is really tasty. It almost has a little bit of a an Indian flair to me, almost like a little bit of a curry flavor, but it's tasty. The flavor's good. It's definitely got a little bit of a spice there, so it is spicy. And really heavy. This is gonna be a heavy dish for sure, especially if you ate the whole thing, this and something else as a lunch. That's how big this portion is. The beef itself, at least the piece that I had, was a little bit chewy, and even this piece that I'm about to pick up here, you can see is really like fatty. And I know it's beef shank, so it's gonna be a little fattier, but it almost seems like it was cooked a little bit too fast, and that's why it's so chewy. But the flavors there, it's just the texture itself is a little bit chewy on some of these pieces. But again, a big portion here for, how much was this one? I completely missed it.
I believe it was around $8.
So $8 for a pretty large portion here in China.
Cory was right. This is quite the heavy dish, and I'm pretty sure it'll set heavy inside too. So let's give it a try. It's got a nice spice to it. You can definitely taste the Szechuan. The rice is cooked nicely. It's a little on the sticky side, which is nice. The beef itself is a little chewy. Like Cory said, it may have just been because it was cooked a little quickly. It's not quite as tender, fall apart. You can't cut it with a fork by any means. I like that the scallions are on top. I think it offers a nice crunch as well as flavoring. Overall, this is good, and you can get away with eating this as a meal because it's a good portion size, or it's good for sharing.
So we've made it back here to the Italy Pavilion and the Primavera Kitchen, where we came hoping to try the pizza Toscana. Unfortunately, they were out of it, so Steph picked up the tri-colored cheese tortellini, which looks really good as well. And this has sage butter and chicken. Looks really tasty. We'll let Steph give it a try.
All right, so Cory already told you that we really wanted that pizza with the caramelized onions, but that's okay. That'll be for next time, I guess. Let's give this tortellini a try. I can definitely smell the Parmesan cheese, so let's see how it tastes. It's actually better than I was thinking it would be. I thought it was going to be a little dry and the dough would be a little sticky on the pasta. It's not at all. It's actually very well seasoned. I like the flavor of the cheese and the chicken inside the tortellini. The mozzarella on the outside of it is very good. It's not the pizza, but this is actually a very good dish.
Okay, so I have to admit that I was bummed too because I really wanted to try that pizza. Unfortunately, we couldn't today, but guys, we'll be back. We'll definitely try it again. There's so much to try here at this festival. It's unbelievable. But let's give this tortellini a try. And Steph's right, it's very fragrant. It smells delicious. And I think that's pretty good. The tortellini itself is definitely cooked nicely, a little bit al dente, so you got that little bit of a bite to it. The cheese is very flavorful. There's a lot of a big kind of punch of cheese flavor coming from whatever the 3 cheeses are that are in the ravioli, but it's really good. And then the Parmesan on the outside is a nice touch, and then that sage butter is good too. The only thing is that it's a little bit, and it could be just because we've been talking, it's a little bit cool, kind of cold. If this was like nice piping hot, it would be excellent. Overall good. I don't taste any chicken at all, so I know there's probably chicken kind of like ground up inside or minced up inside. The cheese is so flavorful and so kind of like overpowering that if there is chicken, I don't taste it. This is pretty darn tasty. And how much was this one? Do you remember?
$8.
$8 for this thing of tortellini, so kind of pricey for some cheese-filled noodles. Definitely seen some better values back here in the World Showcase, but overall, it tastes good. So we've we've made it back here to the America Pavilion, to the Smokehouse Kitchen, and here is where we are gonna try this. The shredded beef brisket with smoked potato, chorizo fondue, and a green tomato relish. And on the picture, this actually had a much larger, it was almost a whole potato that was smoked, split open with all the fillings inside of it. This is more like a half a potato or kind of like a potato skin, but it still looks really good, and everything smells fantastic coming out of this kitchen because everything has that nice smoked scent. But I am looking forward to giving it a try. All right, so let's give this a try. And like I said, it smells delicious, all that brisket. Just gonna dive right in. So the brisket has a really good flavor. The potato, it is a smoked potato, and you can taste it. You can taste that little bit of smoked flavor in the potato itself. As far as that fondue that's on top, that chorizo cheddar fondue, getting a lot of flavor coming from that, but there is this sauce, kind of this darker sauce that's on the plate. It's almost like a sweet, it's like a creamy ketchup kind of flavor, and it's really good. As far as that green tomato kind of salsa that's on top, or that relish, it's really good too. It adds a nice crunch because they're green tomatoes. They're not super soft, and they have a little bit of like a crunch to them, so that's really good. Overall, I think it's a decent sized dish. I don't know how much this one was either. How much was it, Steph?
I'm sorry, I forget.
You don't remember. Probably somewhere in the $7, $8 range. But I think it is a decent sized portion. Compared to last year, we had something kind of similar, but that was on like a sandwich, like a slider. This with the potato, I think, is a better way to serve it. It's really tasty. Just the fondue itself is not that great. But other than that, good dish here from the Smokehouse. Continuing our lap around the world showcase, we've made it back to Japan. We're stopping off here at the Hanami Kitchen, where we're gonna try this. And this is the Frushi, guys. We've had it before. I'm not sure if you're not familiar with it. It's kind of one of those cult classic type of dishes here at the festivals. And this is Frushi. It's fresh pineapple, strawberry, and melon rolled with coconut rice, and then it's sprinkled with toasted coconut, and then it's got that whipped cream and raspberry sauce on the side. I had this last year for the first time, and it was very refreshing and just a really kind of neat dessert, so I'm excited to try it again.
So I'm gonna be honest, I don't ever remember having this, and me and Cory discussed it the other day, and he actually brought up last year's vlog and showed me that I tried it, and that's not a good sign if I don't remember it. So let me see how I like it this year. I love the coconut flavoring in the rice. I think that's really good. The fresh fruit is nice and cold, which is really refreshing. I think I'll remember it from this year. I think it's got a very good flavor. It's nice and fresh. I like that it's rolled up nice and tight. It doesn't seem to be making a mess. The raspberry and the Cool Whip has a very good flavor. I like that whipped cream. The raspberry offers a really good flavor with the rice also. Overall, I think this is pretty good.
All right, it is Frushi time. So Steph just tried it and she enjoyed it. Steph just picked it up and bit into it. I'm a little more civilized than that, so I'm gonna use chopsticks and I'm gonna eat it like you're supposed to eat sushi, which is one whole piece in one bite. So let's do it. Frushi 2019. And just like I remember, that is delicious. Like Steph said, that coconut flavor coming through is so good with the sweetness and the chilled temperature of the fruit. It's so delicious, and that kind of coconut rice wrapper on it too. Really delicious. Everything about this is so good, and it's different. You know, it's something different that you can get here. Again, we've talked about this before, but you come to these festivals, you come to Epcot to try different flavors, to try things that you can't get other places because you can get flavors from around the world. So this is one of those things that's just unique and special to this festival, and I hope it continues to be here year after year because it's delicious. So tucked back here between the Morocco Pavilion and the France Pavilion is the Florida Fresh Kitchen. And from the Florida Fresh Kitchen, we got this. And this is the key lime tart with toasted meringue. And it looks really good. This was one of Stephanie's choices because she really loves key lime. So let's let her give it a try.
This is one of my all-time favorite desserts, so I have high hopes for this. Nice and tart. I like the toasted meringue on top. It's got a little bit of a lemon, like tartness to it, which is really nice. It pairs well with the key lime. And it's got a graham cracker crust. Overall, this is a nice key lime tart.
In the front of the World Showcase at the Trowel and Trellis booth, you'll find this. And this is the grilled street corn with garlic butter spread, and it's a whole corn on the cob. And you can see it's got the whole like stock and everything. And this looks really good. It smells amazing. Everything coming from this booth is vegetarian, and this looks really good. But I'm gonna have to let Stephanie give this one a try first.
So let's give this street corn a try. It's very fragrant. You can definitely smell the garlic and maybe cilantro also. This is actually a lot better than I was even going to give it credit for. The corn itself is really sweet. It's cooked perfectly. It is going to make a mess, but the flavor from the garlic and the cilantro is really fresh. Pairs nicely with the sweet corn. This is really good.
So we completed our loop around the World Showcase and have made it back here to the front, where we've stopped off at the Honey Bee-stro. This was one of our favorite booths last year, and wanted to stop back in for this. And this is the local Wildflower Honey-mascarpone cheesecake, and this has orange blossom honey ice cream garnished with fennel pollen meringue kisses and petite lavender shoots. And this looks just as good as last year. It was one of our favorites, so we had to stop back in and try it again.
So I remember last year this being one of my absolute favorites, so I'm very excited that this is what we're going to end it on, a nice sweet note and something that we've loved in the past. It's nice and cold. I love the richness of the cheesecake. It's still light and got an airiness to it. That honey has such a good flavor. Give it another try. The crust, you can tell it's been refrigerated because it's a little dense, but the flavor is there and I really like it. I'm excited also, this is the orange blossom ice cream. Did I get that right? Orange blossom honey ice cream. So let's give that a try. It is starting to melt. We took a couple pictures beforehand. Nice, like almost like a vanilla ice cream. You can taste the honey just from being drizzled across it. It's very good. Once again, this is a great dessert here at Epcot.
All right, let's give this cheesecake a try. And like I said, just like Steph last year, this was so good. I'm gonna take the cheesecake, a little bit of ice cream together. And that's really good. That the cheesecake itself definitely has a nice, rich flavor. What you would expect from cheesecake. I think the bottom's a little bit different this year. This seems a little more spongy than it was, the crust that's on the bottom. It's still good. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. The cheesecake itself is the star, and that honey that's kind of on the inside there, it's got like glitter in it, so it looks really nice. Definitely a really photogenic dish, but all of it tastes really delicious. Let me give the ice cream a try just alone. And yeah, everything here is really good. It's such a great dessert. It's really pretty, really well done, and it's only $5, so I think it's a good value too when you consider all the different things you can get around the World Showcase. But yeah, like Steph said, a great way to end the day here with this dessert, a favorite from last year, and definitely gonna be a favorite this year too. Really delicious. So I know I said we were all finished, but we had to stop off at one more stop here at the Flavorful Kitchen, and we had to try this, the Mickey Tart Peanut Butter Mousse, and this has strawberry jam and boba pearls, and this looks really tasty, and it's in the shape of Mickey Mouse, so we had to stop and try this one, get some photos of it. Let's see if it tastes as good as it looks. Okay, so let's try out this little Mickey tart. So yeah, there's peanut butter, strawberry jam, and the boba pearls. So it looks good. Let's see how it tastes. I'll try the side without the boba pearls first. That's fantastic. Wow, it tastes just like you're eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's so good. It definitely has that that sensory peanut butter and jelly from like your childhood. You know, it's so good. The peanut butter mousse is nice and cold, and it's really, really just light, and the strawberry on top just pairs with it perfectly. I swear, guys, this is amazing. I'm so happy we stopped by and got this, because if you like peanut butter and jelly, this is really, really tasty and such a big surprise to me. I want to try the side with the boba pearls now. And it's a nice touch. The boba pearls are strawberry too. It kind of would have been cool to have them over the whole thing, because it adds another layer of texture. But wow, I'm so surprised how good this is. And this is kind of, I don't even know what this is made out of, the crust, but it's got some different grains in it and seeds. Very fresh tasting. I love this in every way, and I'm so happy that we stopped off here and we get to end it with the Mickey Mouse tart. So delicious. All right, so that was opening day here at the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival for 2019. What did you think?
I had an awesome time. We tried a lot of food, a lot of good food, and there was so much that we didn't even get to, so we'll definitely be back to try some new things.
So many good items. If you had to pick your favorite, what would it be?
Oh, you know, that's a hard one. I kind of did enjoy that peanut butter and jelly tart right at the end, just so because it took me by surprise. That was something Cory really wanted, so I was like, I'll give it a try. I didn't think it was really going to be that good, but the flavors were really fresh. It was crunchy, it was smooth, it was everything that you could really want it to be for each of the layers. And I thought it was pretty impressive, even though it didn't look super impressive on a plate, the flavor was there.
Yeah, I agree. I loved it, and what was so cool about it is it was one of the biggest surprises of the day, because it was just so tasty. But if I had to pick my favorite item of the day, it was the very first item we tried, and it was the fried green tomatoes with the crab and fennel salad. So delicious over in the Odyssey, and it was just so good. Everything was fresh and delicious, but there were so many good items. Really nothing today that I hated. Some items that were a little bit of a miss, not as good as others, but so much more to try. So we'll definitely be back here soon to try more and bring you guys along. I'll probably be out here for a live stream trying some food. We gotta come do that pizza.
We have to have the pizza. We really have to. I stood in line for that.
Poor Steph waited like 20 minutes in line for them to tell her that they were out of the pizza. So we have to come back, and we will be. But thank you guys so much for coming along with us tonight. Let us know down in the description, or down in the comments, what you liked the most that we tried, what you thought looked the best, and what you would like to try if you come or when you come. We'd appreciate it, and thank you for coming along with us tonight. If you enjoyed this vlog, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below for more like it, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.